Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. I'm switching to a brand new team this time around just because it seemed like a bunch of you guys weren't too thrilled with the Tapu Fini Rain team that I was using previously, so I wanted to kind of spice things up and try out something new. This team's not like too crazy, but it does have a lot of fun best of one strategies, and I found it on the rental teams section in the global link actually. So if you're interested in trying it out yourself, you can see the link in the description below. Basically, I wanted to use Buzzwole, so I was looking for cool Buzzwole teams, and this team had one, and it also has some other cool stuff like Alolan Raichu and Aerodactyl, none of which I've used this season, so I might as well decide to try it out. Celestial is a Pokemon that's been pretty common around in VGC 17, but it's also something I haven't used too much, so I decided why not. So we're just going to jump into things. I've been testing kind of random things here and there, but yeah, this was the team that I ultimately decided to play on for a little bit, just because I like it a lot in terms of the composition of the Pokemon. But if you guys have any suggestions for Pokemon or strategies that you would like to see, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I'll take that into mind. Our rating's still pretty low right now, so I'm really free to trying out anything. And we're going to find our first opponent from Japan with a rating of 15-13 to kick off this episode. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. So my opponent here has a, it's a very Trick Rooney team with, and I don't like this matchup at all actually, Porygon, Alolan Marowak, the Mudsdale, Tapu Lele, Alolan Golem, and the Slowking. So the reason I don't like this is because Slowking has Oblivious, and I can't... And there's the Marowak, so it can redirect electric type attacks. So I can't necessarily just taunt. I do have Skydrop. I don't know how I can really deny Trick Room here, though, with a Slowking Marowak lead. Just gonna check my sets again. Yeah, so this is Z with Fake Out and Encore. Oh, that is Specs. Actually, yeah, with Specs, I think I can just go Garchomp Koko and like Earthquake Rock Slide. I'll go Buzzwole in the back, and for the last one, I'll probably bring Celesteela. Yeah, I like that. So the idea here is to deny Trick Room immediately, and on Choice Specs Koko and Scarf Garchomp. And I'm taking a gamble here, hoping my opponent leads with Slowking. Because if you look at my team comp, like, you might be a little bit more afraid of leading Porygon, because you can get taunted and I have Buzzwole. But I am taking a gamble, so I'm going to answer this one. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it, and thank you for still watching my videos despite my hectic schedule here and there. I was like trying to find a fun team to use recently, and this ended up being it. So yeah, we do see the Slowking, but we don't see the Marowak that I expected, and that's actually pretty bad because that means my opponent wins the Terrain War, which is definitely a cause for concern. I know it's not Scarf Lele, that's not too much of a surprise. So I'm definitely discharging here. I do have Dragon Claw. I bet Dragon Claw and Discharge still knocks out Slowking. Okay, I'll Dragon Claw. I am risking myself to Slowking protecting here, though, and Lele just going for an attack. But I feel like if you're my opponent, you might be more scared of... Like, you'd want to switch the Lele out into Marowak to take a electric type attack. Of course, Slowking could protect, and then Marowak could just come in, too, which would be bad, but at least I would deny Trick Room. The goal really is to make sure my opponent doesn't set up Trick Room here. But this is still pretty scary, especially because, I don't have my terrain. Okay, so Lele switches out. Hopefully that's Marowak coming in. Yep, and hopefully Slowking doesn't protect here. Otherwise, maybe I should have Rock Slided. Nice, okay, no protect. So I get the Dragon Claw off, and Specs Discharge. Hopefully Slowking doesn't have a Wackenberry. Maybe it still survives this. Let's see. Nice. Perfect. So that's exactly how I wanted things to play out, and I got it. So that's good. Now, this is a little bit tricky because both of my Pokemon are choice users, so I'm going to have to switch out this next turn most likely. It wouldn't surprise me if Lele comes back in. It's actually going to be Mudsdale, though. Actually, that's even worse. But I am in a position now where Garchomp could start Earthquaking everything. So I don't want to give up Celesteela. To be honest, Buzzwole is kind of useless already. Like, I could just be in a position where Garchomp and Celesteela win the game. So, you know, like right now, it's actually not as great of a position. I'm gonna switch Garchomp out for sure into Buzzwole, and I might just Discharge to sack both Pokemon. Like, I'm totally fine losing both my Pokemon here. I think. Yeah, I just don't want to switch Celesteela into a Flare Blitz. So I'm forced to Discharge and basically sack both my Pokemon, which is kind of weird, but my opponent doesn't have a way to stop Earthquake coming out, and Celesteela should win the game once the Marowak goes down. And Marowak actually switches out, which is even better, because that's a free Discharge onto the Tapu Lele slot. So I'll take that any day. And that also means that my Buzzwole will survive the turn, which is pretty good. Crit the Lele, which is generous, and Heavy Slam comes out, actually. Coco. Actually doesn't even knock me out, wow. So, that's nice. Definitely fortunate turn of events. So that means I can switch in Celesteela now relatively free. And I'll just go for an attack here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just Z-move. Actually, I guess I'll... hold on. Let's think this through. Okay, so I want to switch into Celesteela here because there's not much my opponent can do with Mudsdale and Tapu Lele against Celesteela. That's why Celesteela is really so common. With Buzzwole, I have a bunch of options. It's pretty useless against the Marowak. I guess I'll go for a last-ditch Poison Jab. If Buzzwole goes down, then that's a free switch in into my Garchomp, which is totally fine with me. And if for some reason Lele targets down the Celesteela slot, then I knock out the Lele. And I'm actually faster than Tapu Lele, which I was not expecting. But that's even better, nice. So, Buzzwole comes out. Buzzwole is the reason why I wanted to use this team, so it does pick up a knockout, which is quite nice, and now it's at +1 after the Beast Boost. So we'll see if Mudsdale targeted that slot. Gonna be a Heavy Slam coming out. Nope, targeting the Celesteela slot, so everything going right for me so far. Basically, my game plan was deny Trick Room and then sweep with Garchomp Celesteela, which is why once I got that knockout turn one, I felt really good about my chances. Since Mudsdale can't two-shot the Garchomp, and Lele is slower, and Celesteela walls everything. Bar the Marowak. Could have been a little bit scarier if my opponent did manage to pick up 2 knockouts, but I felt like it was relatively safe. Or not relatively safe, but like the play I was making, like even the worst case was fine, even if I lost both Pokemon. And instead, my opponent switched out the Marowak. So, yeah, I'm just going to protect here and go for the all-out pummeling into Mudsdale. With Garchomp in the back, I feel pretty comfortable about my chances now, since even if Marowak protects, you know, like Mudsdale would probably need 2 critical hits to knock it out. So, Scarf Chomp coming back out. You know, I did use that on my Porygon Z team a while back. Celesteela will protect, and we don't see it protect from Mudsdale, so I'm wondering if +1 all-out pummeling from the Buzzwole can knock out this Mudsdale. Buzzwole is a really cool Pokemon because its typing is pretty unique, and, you know, you get a lot of offense. Like, a stab fighting type attack already in this format's really good, especially because Porygon 2 is so common. And you also have Ice Punch to cover, like, Garchomp and Poison Jab and Tapus. So, this is definitely one of the strongest units you can use. But, yeah, it actually does one-shot Mudsdale. Wow, okay, nice. So I'm glad Buzzwole got to see some action in this game. So I'm getting to +2 now, and the Flare Blitz does correctly target down the Buzzwole, which is good, but might as well protect the Celesteela because it means that I either just knock out the Mudsdale or do a ton of damage to it, and you know, if you Flare Blitz the Buzzwole, then I get a free switch on the Garchomp. If you Flare Blitz Celesteela, then Buzzwole just hangs around longer. So that's fine. Now all I have to do is bring back Garchomp. And yeah, that Dragon Claw Discharge combination pretty much won me the game, which is why I was pretty scared about turn 1 if like Slowking protected, but a lot of Trick Room teams don't even run Protect with Slowking because it's more offensive. And you know it's bulky, so most of the time it can survive turn 1, so you go like Trick Room, Fire type attack, Ice type attack, Water type attack, so like Scald, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, combination of those. But yeah, I'll just let me see an Earthquake now. Not much Marowak can do to stop Garchomp, like it's one of the reasons why you know, Garchomp being as common as is, Marowak, we've still seen some tournament relevance, especially over like the Toronto regionals, and it's not something to count out. Hayden McTavish actually got 2nd at Seattle regionals yesterday with Marowak, so it's definitely still something that's really relevant on the right team, but, you know, against the Garchomp here, not going to do too much. It does survive the Earthquake, which is pretty impressive, but Flare Blitz here, it will knock itself out from the recoil. So we do pick up a win here, and Buzzwole does take its first 2 victims of the day, which I'm pretty happy about. I do think Buzzwole's a really cool Pokemon. It's also seen some tournament relevance. Tommy Cooling, who got top 8 at all 3 of the international tournaments this year, in London, Australia, and Sao Paulo, he had a Buzzwole Rain team, which was really cool. I might try that out in the future, because I, first of all, really like Rain, and 2, it's just like a really well-constructed team. But yeah, that team had Buzzwole, which is really neat. Supported really well because you had a Tailwind option with Pelipper and Trick Room with Porygon too. And so Buzzwole obviously is like, it's a ton of fun and it's really strong, but it has to worry about its weaknesses because you want Arcanines everywhere. So you need a team that properly checks Arcanine. This team, for example, has Garchomp, Aerodactyl, and then even electric types with Koko and Alolan Raichu. You can just really one-shot the Arcanines with Specs and the Z-move on Raichu. The Raichu-Koko combination is pretty cool. It's something that a lot of people were talking about in the beginning of when Sun and Moon were coming out, because they're like, oh, wow, there's so much natural synergy there. As we get another Trick Room team. Interesting. So, this one, it's kind of funny, I see the Crocodile and the Araquanid, and I'm immediately reminded of the old, the Honchkrow team that we were using for fun earlier. But, okay, so we see Torkoal, Ranguru, Magnezone, the Lilligant, the Raichu, that's not Raichu, sorry, the Crocodile and the Araquanid. So I think the way to approach this might actually to be just go Raichu Koko. Yeah. Although I guess if the Crocodile was Scarfed, that could be a concern, but I don't think it will be. And in the back, Celesteal is tempting because of its how it matches up against like Crocodile, but maybe actually it's not so great here. So instead, I'll go with. The only reason I want to bring Seala is like, oh, if my opponent brings a Ranguru, then Celesteal can watch or counter the Ranguru a decent amount. But I think I'll go with Garchomp. Buzzwole? Definitely, yeah, I think I like Buzzwole here. Although if I Garchomp, I can't Earthquake that freely. Yeah, I really can't Earthquake that freely. Actually, I'll go Aerodactyl, yeah, just because Rock Slide still does decent amount, and I have Sky Drop on it as well. Pretty scary team composition for my opponent, though, because you have, like, the Torkoal Lilligant combination. Obviously, I used that on like one of my first teams in the season, and Torkoal Lilligant's still pretty relevant. Ashton Cox managed to win the Sao Paulo International Championship with a Torkoal Lilligant team. He had like the Sun Hybrid where you have the fast mode, and then you also have like Snorlax, Mimikyu, so it was slow mode, and Poison Z Pheromosa, which I was pretty stoked to see him use, just because that's a really fun thing to use. So let's see what my opponent brings out here. Okay, so actually is Torkoal Lilligant. So that's fine with me because I have the Fake Out option, and I'm Specs Koko, and Z-move Raichu, and Raichu. I should forget Lilligant's speed tiers. I don't remember who's faster. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm faster. So I have the Z-move on Raichu, the Alolan Z-move. Safer to just fake out Lilligant and Thunderbolt Torkoal though. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm pretty sure Specs T-Bolt and Electric Terrain just knocks out Torkoal. But I could be wrong. I mean, Torkoal's special defense is like a lot poorer than its defense. Like, its defense is actually nothing to laugh at. Okay, Lilligant protects, that's fine. And Torkoal protect as well? Yeah, okay, so just a double protect to blow out my Fake Out. So, good play. I could have maybe gone for the Z-move there to do a lot of damage, even to protect. But, yeah, let's see. I'm just double checking Lilligant's speed just because I'm pretty sure I'm faster, but it could be 115. No, it's 90. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was 115. So with that, then I can just honestly Encore. Yeah, I'm just gonna Encore Lilligant. And Thunderbolt Torkoal. Because there's no way it's going to be faster because it's not Scarf, obviously. So, yep. I could have Z-moved the Torkoal too, but then Lilligant could be going for an After You. It actually does go for the Protect, so yeah, I'm pretty sure it was going for the After You. Actually, no, but if I Z-moved Torkoal, that would have been fine too, yeah. That might have actually been better. But yeah, Specs Thunderbolt knocks out Torkoal. Nice. So this, like, combination is actually really deadly, just because it's so fast on offensive, and with Fake Out and Encore, like, you just can really trap your opponents into weird positions, such as this one. So Crocodile comes out, and that actually is a pretty big threat to me. However, we know that the Lilligant's locked in to Protect, so it's either going to Protect here and Crocodile's going to go for an Earthquake. I'm definitely going to switch out here, though. because it's not a very favorable position. But I know that the Lilligant can't do too much, so I'm going to double switch here and try to basically set up a Tailwind. Obviously, it's pretty concerning. Like, I can't touch the Crocodile with Raichu, and Coco's locked into Specs Thunderbolt as well, so might as well save these two offensive Pokemon for later. So this is where, like, having Celesteela actually would have been pretty helpful. If I had Garchomp too, I could, like, switch Raichu out into Garchomp and Coco into Aerodactyl. But either way, I think I'll be fine with Specs Dazzling Gleam, and Buzzwole obviously does a pretty good amount to the Crocodile as well, and I don't think Crocodile can do much in return. So what I'll be able to do here is bring in the Buzzwole. I'm stalling out Sun, Torkoal's already gone, and I can set up Tailwind here with Aerodactyl in the future turns as well. So we'll see if the Lilligant switches out. But nope, it's just going to stay in. So I'm fine with that, because I know it's still forced into Protect, so next turn it's only Crocodile that can attack. Crocodile actually goes for the Crunch here into the Buzzwole, which I'm totally okay with. Buzzwole takes that with ease. It does get a defense drop, but even with that, it shouldn't be able to do too much. Now I can go for a Tailwind, and I'm going to go for the Z Superpower into Crocodile. Aerodactyl is actually one of my favorite Pokemon. I used him a lot back in 2014. I don't think I brought him to any major tournaments that year, but it was a really fun Pokemon. If you guys watched me way back in 2014, I had it on some fun teams on my Battle Spot series back then, which is crazy to me because it's been like, wow, like this is my 4th season doing like a Battle Spot series. So okay, Lilligant goes for the Protect. I'm gonna switch out. That's fine with me, even if like Crocodile Z moves here. Like Buzzwole actually walls the Crocodile a decent amount, and I'm faster too, so the all pummeling here should be able to just pick up a knockout. And that's really good because now I've got the Tailwind up as well. So I think my opponent was just expecting to cheese me with Lilligant Torkoal, but like, you can't cheese Lilligant with Lilligant Torkoal if you have Raichu Coco. Because one, the Specs Coco itself is already enough, but also like the Fake Out on Pro combination is just so much. So once my opponent double protected, I was like, okay, that's pretty good. And yep, even with the Z move just knocks out Crocodile cleanly there. A lot of Crocodiles. Crocodile, not a Pokemon we see too often, but it has had some tournament success throughout the season, and that's because, you know, it's got decent typing. You can have access to Intimidate and do some heavy damage. But Lilligant's Encore ends there, but it's already a little bit too late. You normally want to use Lilligant as a support Pokemon, typically with like Sleep Powder after you and maybe the Z move, but now I'm actually even faster, especially with the Magnezone coming in here from my opponent's end. So I'm in a really good position now. I can just Superpower the Magnezone. And I'm actually just going to Sky Drop the Lilligant because I want guaranteed damage and I don't want to miss with Rock Slide because I know I can close out the game with the Tapu Koko and the Raichu sitting out in the back. So Lilligant can't really do any damage to Buzzwole. Magnezone here is probably going to be sturdy, but I still want Sky Drop because it's super effective damage and that probably two-shots Lilligant, whereas I could miss Rock Slide. Like a safer play might have been to just Rock Slide Poison Jab, but I felt like with this, you know, Magnezone's not even sturdy, so yeah, Buzzwole's actually putting in a ton of work today, just getting knockouts left and right. That's why it can be really good in the right matchup here. But we'll get that Beast Boost, so... Superpower obviously canceling it out, but once you get to +1 from Buzzwole, Superpower does so much damage. It's just kind of gross. And... yep, now it's just going to pretty much be cleanup. And this team really did its work, like, or it did its job, right? I got the denied any potential Trick Room. I think the Oranguru could have been a little bit scary just because you never know what item it's carrying. Sky Drop from Aerodactyl does, like, 75%. It's pretty cool to be using Aerodactyl here, just because, and it works so nicely here with the Buzzwole combination, too. Just because if you guys have been following the Multi-Battle League, Baz Anderson and I are back in for the 2nd season, and we do have Mega Aerodactyl on our team. So we've been running that for the last 2 weeks with Skydrop, and it's been pretty fun. I don't think we've really used Skydrop yet this season, but we had Aerodactyl, I believe, on our team last year as well, and it's definitely pretty fun. And today's episode has been pretty short, and I have missed out on a couple of uploads, so I will probably play a 3rd game for you guys here. Just because the team is a lot of fun to use, and I'm definitely still getting the hang of it, just because I haven't really tried it out at all, and just because I found it from the rental team. But yeah, it's really cool to be using Aerodactyl, Buzzwole, and the Raichu Coco combination definitely did its job in that last game, so pretty happy about that. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to see this team longer, if you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see in the comments below, like I mentioned, and if you see a strategy you really like, definitely go through the comments and upvote them. Like the comments with the more likes, I'll definitely consider a little bit more. But obviously, I do read all your comments and take them into consideration. So yeah, I just wanted to use this because, one, I haven't used Koko Raichu yet, which is kind of funny given that it was like so hyped up before Sun and Moon even came out, just because of what we had seen from them. But I also just like Buzzwole and Aerodactyl a lot, and so it's kind of cool to have a team with all of those that I've used. And my goal on Road to Ranked is really to just, you know, feature a lot of different strategies in Pokemon, and that's kind of what I try to do. Like, between each iteration or each team that I switch to, I try to have something fun that's a little bit new. So I'm always open to new ideas and suggestions. But just gonna jump on for a third game. Hopefully we find someone soon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think one thing I also wanted to mention, or two things, I did upload the QR code for my Snorlax team, so if you're interested in that, that's in the description below, as well as a paste bin. That team was pretty fun to use. And I'll be in Madison this weekend to commentate the Madison Regional Championships. Of course, I'm qualified for Worlds already, which is why I'm commentating this event, and we're going up against Eevee. So if you want to watch that tournament and a regional in the UK, check out Pokemon.com/live, bookmark that because that's where all the live streams are, and I'll be on stream as a commentator, which I'm pretty stoked about. But we're going up against Eevee here, and I really don't like that. So we have Eevee, Clefairy, Tapu Lele, Muck, the Marowak, and the Smeargle. This is so scary. If I had more experience with this team, I feel like I would be like, oh, just do X, Y, and Z. I think I'll go Aerodactyl Buzzwole, actually, because Skydrop doesn't go through Follow Me. So turn 1, I could Skydrop Poison Jab. Does that work? I'd Skydrop Poison Jab, but then how do I proceed from there? I don't think I can really go Raichu Koko because, yeah, because of the Marowak, which is a shame. Buzzwole, Aerodactyl, Garchomp, Celesteela. Yeah, I'm not that comfortable with Skydrop mechanics yet, just because I haven't used it often, so this is gonna be scary. Eevee teams in general are scary. I do have Taunt, which is, like, one good thing. My opponent's team is also, like, not your standard Eevee team, and I do have Tailwind as well with Aerodactyl, which could be helpful when going up against Eevee compositions, just because at least maybe I can still have the speed in my favor. But I don't know what my opponent's gonna lead with here. Could be Smeargle Eevee, but it's Eevee Clefairy, okay. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Skydrop goes through Follow Me, so even if Clefairy Follow Me's here, I could just Skydrop Eevee. But it's not like I can one-shot Clefairy. I could also Rock Slide Poison Jab, Fish for a flinch. Tailwind. Oop, that's a phone call, sorry. I could Taunt. Actually, taunting Clefairy doesn't seem so bad. Then I can Z-move Eevee. Yeah, I'm gonna taunt and Poison Jab it. Oh, Clefairy could protect, of course. Okay, nice. So I'll let Eevee set up its Z-move here because I think Z-move... Oh, but then Eevee's just gonna... switch out. That was bad. I should've just Skydropped. Yeah. I'm trying to think that, like, would Skydrop really have helped? Definitely Baton Passing. Question is, who does it switch into? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna Tailwind here. I would think my opponent would have brought Marowak and maybe Muck is the last one. If that's the case, it's still not the... Like, even with Eevee set up here, I think I can still win the game because of how offensive my team is. But I think I'm going to Tailwind here, and I might just go for a jab into Clefairy to knock it out. Because Eevee definitely switches out here. Yeah, I'll try to knock out the Clefairy slot. Yep, okay. So Clefairy doesn't switch out, which is good, and Eevee's going to Baton Pass. I'm still thinking about that Skydrop play that I could have maybe made. Oh, wait, actually, one thing I don't know too well is, like, the mechanics. Like, if I Skydrop Clefairy with the... and it follows me, would the superpower just go into Eevee? That might have been a major misplay if so, and I'm not sure how that works with Follow Me. So, sorry about that. Like, I probably could have played this better, but like I said, I don't know my mechanics with Skydrop and Follow Me too well. So, if so, that would have been pretty frustrating, because I totally could have just Skydropped and Follow Me. Now, I do still have the Skydrop in my favor. I mean, I could use that to potentially catch my opponent off guard. They do have Tailwind up as well. Okay, Smeargle comes in. So my opponent can still fake out Aerodactyl. I'm gonna taunt Smeargle. And protect. Did I protect? Yeah, I'll protect. Yeah, I might have majorly botched that up if Skydrop carries Clef and then like Superpower doesn't get redirected. Okay, so we don't see any switch outs, and I do just get the taunt and no fake out. Okay, doesn't believe. Yeah, okay, nice. So it's going to transform. So I'm faster with Aerodactyl. I don't know how fast, but I think what I can do is Skydrop Tapu Lele here, and just Z-move Smeargle. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so Smeargle switches out, so that Eevee's gonna faint. Okay. So the only issue is I don't know who's faster between my Buzzwole and the Tapu Lele. It should be Tapu Lele, which is why this actually might work out really nicely, because the Skydrop will just bring him down, and then I can just Poison Jab. And maybe I should have just Superpower there, because I knew that he couldn't protect. So I should have saved him. That might have been smarter. The Eevee will faint here. Go. The other thing is Smeargle could transform, actually. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I should have thought about that a little bit better. I should have Superpowered and saved the Z move. Smeargle now will be able to transform into the Tapu Lele. Presumably as Focus Sash. I don't think Poison Jab knocks out Lele. I might have screwed this one up. Is the last of her Tailwind? Yes. I'm gonna throw the jab into the Tapu Lele slot. And I'm hoping Buzzwole is slower than Tapu Lele here. That still does decent damage. Nice, okay. Can we pick up a knockout? Haha! Yes! Not today, Eevee. Okay, so I finessed. Buzzwole was the MVP of this episode. Nice, nice. So that's why Skydrop's really cool, because, like, Eevee at +2, like, with Tailwind, Aerodactyl's faster, but Buzzwole's still slower, so you get that cool, like, combination with that. Oh, my phone ringing again, my apologies for that, but now I can just taunt Superpower, and it's game. Ha! It actually transforms into my Buzzwole. And, yeah, so that's Scarf Smeargle, since that sped me after Tailwind was over. But Buzzwole's at +3, it might get every knockout this game. Does resist there, but that's okay. Yeah, unfortunately not. But yeah, Buzzwole can't 2v1 here. Put a Skydrop, I guess. Just Tailwind and Superpower. Yeah, I think Buzzwole actually should be able to pick up all 4 knockouts here, which is kind of hype as well, so good job, Buzzwole. You did your job. But yeah, I could have played the turn 1 better, I think. I need to actually do my research on how that Follow Me mechanic works. Okay, so, because the original play I was thinking was just going for Follow Me onto, ooh, that did so much. But it doesn't knock me out. Of course, I have the defense drop, yeah. Yeah, so Buzzwole will pick up 4 knockouts in this game. Well, the original thing I was thinking was, oh, I can just Skydrop the Eevee and Poison Jab, but then, like, it's like, what do I do after then, right? Because then the Clefairy could just protect next turn. But the thing is, if I could Skydrop the Clefairy and just Z-move Eevee, then the game is just instantly over, because you can't even pass your boost off to anyone. But I didn't even consider that until afterwards, so that's a mechanic. If so, I'm sorry for misplaying there, because that was a very clear-cut play. But ultimately, I felt like I didn't have resources to deal with my opponent's team, even if he did get the boosts. And not having Muck was actually a relief, because Muck could actually really give my team some trouble. So I'm surprised my opponent didn't bring Muck. Also surprised the Marowak didn't come out, just because I thought that would cover the electric types on my team really well, but ends up not being the case. But we do pick up a pretty nice 3-win streak with our first episode with this team, and I did enjoy it a lot. So if you're interested in the team, you can check it out in the description below. Also, go check out my Snorlax team, and if you haven't caught up with NBL, yesterday or this week's battle just went up a few days ago, so definitely check that out. But yep, it's gonna be it for this episode, guys. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys did as well. Like I said, if you have any suggestions for teams or strategies you'd like to let me use, let me know in the comments below. And that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, leave a like if you enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time. Alright, peace.